Let's be honest. In a world that's practically designed to steal our attention, have you ever wondered if deep, sustained focus is even possible anymore? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down 4 science-backed steps to get it back. Does this sound familiar to you? You're just running from task to task, your calendar's totally packed, your phone is buzzing nonstop. But at the end of the day, you kind of look back and feel like you haven't made any real progress on the stuff that actually matters. And here's the big reveal. It turns out we've been trying to solve the wrong problem all along. We don't really need more time management hacks. What we need is a fundamental upgrade to our attention management system. And that is exactly what we are going to do right now. So forget all that vague advice. We're breaking down 4 specific, actionable protocols you can use to build intense focus. Let's dive right into the first one.
Okay, first up is a technique that will completely transform how you see your day. It's called time blocking.
The idea here is actually super simple, but it is incredibly powerful. Instead of working from some long list of things you hope you get to, you give every single minute of your day a job. You're not just listing tasks, you're building a concrete, intentional plan.
And this, right here, this is a fundamental shift in your mindset. A to-do list makes you reactive, right? You're constantly having to decide what's next. But time blocking, it makes you intentional. You decide once ahead of time, and then you just execute the plan. This is exactly why it's so effective. By pre-planning your day, you completely eliminate that constant energy-draining question of, what should I do now? And this frees you up to schedule those crucial 90-minute blocks for deep, focused work, while also making time for shallow tasks and, just as important, actual breaks. Now, having a perfect schedule is one thing, but sticking to it, that's another story. And that is where our second protocol comes in. It's not just about managing your schedule. It's about managing your space to protect that schedule. This is what we call environment engineering. So this is all about making focus the path of least resistance. Instead of trying to use willpower to fight off distractions all day, you just proactively remove them from your environment altogether. You basically make it easier to do the right thing than the wrong thing. You know, author James Clear puts it perfectly here. Your environment is this invisible hand, constantly nudging you towards certain behaviors. The real question is, are those nudges helping you focus, or are they pushing you toward distraction? And there's some really simple brain science behind why this works. Our brains are basically association machines. So if you check social media and do serious work in the exact same chair, you're sending your brain all these mixed signals. But if a place is used for only one thing, deep work, your brain builds this incredibly powerful connection. So how do you actually put this into practice? Well, it's simpler than you might think. Dedicate one spot, a specific desk, a certain chair that is only for focused work. And when it's time to work, put your phone in another room entirely. No, seriously. Then use some noise-canceling headphones and website blockers to create your own little focus fortress. Okay, so you've blocked out your time, you've engineered your space. Now, how do you get your brain to switch gears on command when that deep work block actually begins? That brings us to our third protocol, the power of rituals. I want you to think of a ritual like the warm-up routine for an athlete before a big game. It's a clear, unmistakable signal to your brain that a specific activity is about to begin. It tells your brain, okay, it's time to switch modes now. So an effective work ritual really just has 3 parts. First, you've got a start ritual, something short like making a specific cup of tea or tidying your desk. Then you do your deep work session. And finally, and this is key, you have an end ritual. And whatever you do, please do not skip that end ritual. It is so crucial. It's what tells your brain it's safe to disengage and properly rest. A simple review of what you accomplished, maybe saying a phrase out loud like, "Shutdown complete," can literally prevent work from bleeding into your personal time, which is the secret to avoiding burnout. All right, so you've set up your time, your space, and your rituals. Those are the external systems for focus. But what about the internal skill of concentration itself? This is where our final protocol comes in. And it might be the most challenging, but honestly also the most rewarding. It's time to embrace boredom. See, the ability to concentrate, it's not some fixed trait you're born with. It's a skill. And just like any other skill, it requires practice. I want you to think of your ability to focus as a muscle in your brain that needs to be trained.
So let me ask you a quick question. When you have just 30 seconds of downtime, waiting for an elevator, standing in line for coffee, what is your immediate impulse? What's the first thing you do? If you're like most of us, it's to pull out your phone.
Now, here's the problem. Every single time we do that, we're teaching our brain that it should never, ever have to tolerate even a moment of boredom. We're training it to constantly seek a new hit of stimulus, which just slowly erodes its capacity for a long, uninterrupted focus.
So the solution is really simple, though I'll admit it's not easy. The next time you have a spare moment, just do nothing. Seriously, let your mind wander. This is your gym for focus. Practicing with these small moments of boredom is what builds the mental strength for hours of deep work later.
And there you have it. That's your complete toolkit for reclaiming focus. These 4 protocols, they all work together as a system. You control your schedule with time blocking, you protect your space with environment engineering, you trigger your mindset with rituals, and you train your attention by embracing boredom. Look, you don't have to do it all at once. So as we close out, I want you to think about this. Which one of these protocols can you commit to trying tomorrow? Just one. Because reclaiming your focus doesn't happen in one giant leap, but one intentional step at a time.